Hello, good morning. How are you? Um, okay, we're going to continue with the analysis of Macbeth. Yes, in this case, Act 1, Scene 7. We are going to analyze this soliloquy by Macbeth, in which he establishes several reasons why he shouldn't kill uh, Duncan. Okay, so um, first we are going to uh, listen to it, then we're going to analyze it, and then we're going to watch it. Okay, so give me a second. Okay, here we go. It starts with if it were done when it is done.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well, it were done quickly, if the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch, with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here.
Okay, up to there, so that we can analyze this first bit. Yes? That noise, that music that you hear in the background is because Duncan is at Macbeth's castle in Inverness, and they are celebrating because they have just won the battle. Yes, and while all of this is happening, Macbeth is trying to decide whether he should kill the king or not. Yes, so if it were done when it is done, what is it? It is the assassination. If I were to kill him, if it were done when it is done, then it were well, it were done quickly. What he means here is that if I'm going to do this and I want to do it well, then I have to do it quickly. If the assassination, here the word assassination is the first time that appears in written language, in the English language. Yes, I'm not saying that Shakespeare invented the word, but this is the first record of the English word assassination that is different from murdering or killing someone, because assassination is killing someone with political purposes. Yes, so if the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success. So here Shakespeare is using fishing imagery. Imagery, yes, is a literary device in which an author describes actions using a specific field of knowledge. In this case, it's fishing. Now we will see why. In order to emphasize or to make meaning more clear. Yes, imagery is a mental picture that the author writes so that the audience can understand and can see what the character is saying. Yes, so what he says, if the assassination could trammel up the consequence. This expression trammel up, it comes from fishing. Yes, to trammel up, yes, I had a drawing here and I lost it. Is a sort of a net that you use to fish. Yes, a drag net. It's a net that you put in the water and you drag it in order to catch fish. Yes. So what he's saying here is that if the assassination could trammel up the consequences. So if I could avoid the consequences, because you know that when you fish with these drag nets, you may catch a fish or you may catch other things with the fish, like rubbish, I don't know, a bottle, a piece of something that is floating in the water. So if I could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success. So if I could avoid the consequence and catch his surcease here it implies Duncan's death. Yes, it's something like his su deceso. Yes, so if I could catch only him without any other consequences, if the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his success, but this blow might be the be all and the end all here. So if I manage to do that, this will be all and end all, meaning this will be the end of the business. This will be the end of all of this situation. Yes, and there will be no consequences. And here he's going to provide the first reason why he shouldn't kill the king. Yes, let us continue listening a bit more.
But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come, but in these cases we still have judgment here that we but teach the...
Okay, let's go over this. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, here Shakespeare continues with the fishing imagery. Yes, upon this sand bank, Macbeth is talking and he feels like he's standing in a sand bank, en un banco de arena. So upon this bank and shoal of time, a shoal is a shallow of sand. It's like a mountain of sand that is under the sea, so you cannot see it, but the ocean is not that deep in those places. Yes, so the idea is that Macbeth is in this sandbank and shoal of time, and this part of the sea where he's, of course, metaphorically standing, is life. Yes, the life that he's living at the moment. So he says, but here upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. So the idea is that the afterlife, what happens after death, is the ocean. Yes, so of course, he's worried about what could happen to him after he dies, if there would be any consequences in his afterlife if he kills Duncan. Okay? And then he continues talking. This is line 7. But in these cases, we still have judgment here that we but teach bloody instructions. We couldn't finish hearing that bit. But what he's saying here, he's giving a second reason why he should not kill the king. But in these cases, we still have judgment here. So I should not only be worried about the judgment that comes after life, but also the judgment that takes place here on earth. And he says that we but teach bloody instructions. Why does he say we? Because he's a soldier and he's in charge of protecting the king. And he has many times executed people who try to betray the king. So he is the one that teaches that people shouldn't betray the king. Yes? So we still have judgment here that we teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. So these lessons that I teach to others, now I need to learn them myself. Yes? We are going to continue listening. We stopped in bloody instructions, so we are going to continue listening. So far, we have two reasons. He's afraid of the spiritual law, let's say, of what happens after life, the judgment that is after life. Then he is also worried about the judgment that is here on earth, yes, that is, let's say, an earthly law, una ley terrenal, an earthly law that he's afraid of, okay? So we continue listening a bit more.
Instructions which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust.
Okay, up to there. So this even-handed justice, this balanced justice, commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. Yes, so justice, yes, forces us to drink the same cup that we offer to our enemy. This is what this means. A chalice is like a cup, yes. So in a way, this is like karma. Yes, everything that you do returns to you. Yes. Um, and then he says, he's here in double trust. Who is he? The king. Yes, he is here in double trust. So the king trusts me in two ways. Yes, let's listen to them.
First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
Okay. So this is the end of the soliloquy, okay? So he's here in double trust. So the other reason why he shouldn't kill him is because he trusts him. Duncan trusts Macbeth, yes, and this in a way involves another important reason, yes, because it is first the first reason why the king trusts me. First, as I am his kinsman. Kinsman is we are relatives because we are both human beings. We are both male, yes. I am his kinsman and his subject. Strong both against the deed. So my duty is to protect him, yes. And then I am his host, yes, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself, yes, as the host, yes, as the person who is receiving the king in his own house. He should be worried about the protection of the king and not how to kill the king, yes. So he trusts me because I am his kinsman and because I am his host, yes. And those are two reasons why he shouldn't kill him. Yes, because he wouldn't be fulfilling his role, his position. He wouldn't be respecting the position that he was given in this natural order of things. Yes. Besides, this is line 16, this Duncan has borne his faculties so meek. This means that Duncan has manipulated, has behaved in such a wonderful way. Yes, he's a good king. This is basically what he's saying. And he's so good. Yes, he has managed his powers, his kingdom in such a good way that he has been so clear in his great office that his virtues, yes, and this is personification of the word virtues, will plead like angels. They will pray, they will beg like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. So when he dies, he's such a good king that his virtues will pray to God to damn, yes, to curse whoever carried out this deed, whoever killed him. And pity, like a naked newborn babe, notice again the personification of pity. Pity like a naked newborn babe, yes, like a baby, striding the blast or heaven's cherubim course upon the sightless couriers of the air. So he is going to be like an innocent baby, yes, riding a cherubim, yes, upon the sightless carriers of the air, upon the wind, yes, in heaven, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye. So he will show everyone, yes, by carrying the wind, he will show, he will blow this wind into everyone's eyes so that everyone will see what Macbeth did, yes, that tears shall drown the wine, the wind, sorry, in this case. So tears, the tears of people will go dry because of the wind that will show them the revelation of Macbeth killing Duncan. This is all of his imagination. He is hesitant. He doesn't know whether he should kill Duncan or not. So he's providing a list of reasons why he shouldn't kill him. Yes, he's saying, I'm afraid of what would happen, of the consequences after life. I am afraid of the consequences on earth. I am his host. I shouldn't be planning to kill him. And he is a good king. He is so good that when he dies, he's going to find a way to tell everyone what I did. Yes. And he concludes this soliloquy by saying, I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only bolting ambition. So I have no spur means I have no other motivation to prick the sides of my intent. Yes, I have no motivation to kill Duncan, to and this, here to prick the size of my intent is I have no more motivation to pinpoint, to show you, or to try to find the, let's say, the right reason why I want to kill Duncan, but only vaulting ambition. And this is Macbeth's tragic flaw, ambition. And he ends up recognizing that the only reason why he wants to kill Duncan is because of his ambition. Yes, bold in ambition which overleaps itself and falls on the other, which will cause a disaster, basically. That's what it means. Don't worry about every single word, okay? So what we're going to do now is we are going to watch it, okay? So let me share the screen with you and find the right spot. And then in this way, if you watch it, you will understand much better everything that he means here, okay? Give me a second. Almost there. It's after this scene, okay? We are going to just watch the scene that we have just analyzed so that we understand it better. This is where it begins, okay? Okay. Very powerful performance. This performance takes place at the Globe. Yes, you see that there's a very simple setting, just like in Shakespeare's times. And we can see Macbeth already very troubled by this situation, very hesitant. He doesn't know what to do. After this, Lady Macbeth enters and they are going to have a conversation. We are only going to highlight a few quotes from this conversation, but we're going to listen to it all, okay? So let's hear it. This is in my, this is on line 29. How now, what news, okay?
Now, what news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, you're not. He has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the...
Okay, up to there, so that I can show you something important from this scene. So, of course, Lady Macbeth is worried that Macbeth is not at the party with them, because, of course, this shows that he is being different, yes? And remember that she said, look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. And Macbeth clearly looks troubled. He's not with everyone. He's not behaving normally. Yes, so Lady Macbeth is worried about this. How now? What news? He has almost supped. So he is the king. Notice that they are very careful not to mention him, okay? Because if someone would hear them planning to kill the king, would be very dangerous. He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber? Why have you left the room? Has he asked for me? No, you not, he has. So Lady Macbeth is, yes, of course he asked for you. And Macbeth here replies, telling Lady Macbeth the reasons why they are not going to kill the king. Yes, he says, we will proceed no further in this business. So we are not going to kill him. Yes, he has honored me of late. So he has just given me, let's say, the privilege. He has honored me by giving me a title, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people. So I have a good reputation now because of how the king has honored me, which would be worn now in the newest clause. So I'm going, this is my new reputation that I have gained, and I don't want to ruin it, yes, which would be worn now in the newest clause, not cast aside so soon. I don't want to ruin my reputation so quickly, just after he has honored me, yes? And pay attention to the reply of Lady Macbeth, because this is very important concerning the natural order of things and how Lady Macbeth challenges this natural order, okay? Let's continue listening.
Oh, drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem'st, the ornament of life, and of a coward in thine own esteem? Letting I dare not wait upon I would, like a poor cat in the addy.
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
Okay, so was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? So the question here is, were you drunk before when you were talking to me? Yes. Had it slept since? Yes. So what happened to you? What happened to that hope, that courage that you had? Yes. And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely. So, and now you look green and pale. You look like as if you were afraid of something that before you were saying that you could do so freely. That he never said that he was going to do this in such a careless way. He didn't even point this out, yes, but this is Lady Macbeth trying to manipulate him and convince him to kill Duncan, yes. Notice this question. This is in line on line 39 towards the middle after the full stop. Art thou appear to be the same in thine own act and valor, and thou art in desire? So are you afraid to do the things that you want to do? Imagine for an Elizabethan society, for a woman to question a man's courage. Are you afraid to do the things that you want to do? This is a very challenging question. Yes, especially a question that is asked by a woman to a man. Yes, who is her husband? Yes. Macbeth, if you go to line 45, yes, he says, "Prithee, peace, I beg you, stop." Yes, "I dare do all that may me become a man, who dares do more is none." So he's saying, I am a man and I can do anything that a man does, but if I do more than what I should do, then I wouldn't be a man. This is what he's saying. Yes, let's listen again to the reply that Lady Macbeth has for him.
Beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me. When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out had I so sworn.
Okay, up to here. So, what beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? Yeah, so what was the beast that made you tell me this? Why did you even share this information with me if you didn't want to proceed with it? Yes, when you durst do it, durst means dare. When you dare do it, then you were a man. This would kill any guy's self-esteem. Yes, when you dare do it, when you said that you had the courage to do it, then you were a man. Now you are not one. This is a consistent disruption of order in the natural order of things. Yes. And to be more than what you were, you would be much more the man. So here what she's saying is, if you would do a little bit more, you would become the man. Why the man? Who is the man on earth? The king. Yes. Remember this natural order of things. Yes. That society had this philosophy of the nature of man, that there was a hierarchy. Yes. With celestial, yes, with the celestial realm, yes, and the terrestrial realm. And who is the linker? Who is the link between the two worlds? The man, yes, but who is the most important man on earth? The king. So if you would do a little bit more, you would become the man, the link between these two worlds, yes? So she's completely resolute. Notice the difference between Lady Macbeth and Macbeth. Yes, Macbeth is very hesitant, he's very nervous, he doesn't know what to do. And Lady Macbeth is the opposite. Yes, she is very resolute, she's decided, she knows what she wants, and she is willing to do everything that it takes. Yes. Okay, we're going to skip these lines and we continue listening a bit more.
As you have done to this.
If we should fail!
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail.
Okay, well, let's take advantage of that pause that they made. And Macbeth suddenly starts contemplating the idea of killing him. And he asks, if we should fail? This is a natural question that everyone in their lives have asked themselves. Yes, we all ask these to ourselves whenever we are about to begin something or to start something challenging. If we should fail, so he, in this case, is really worried because if he fails, he will be executed. Yes, but notice Lady Macbeth's reply: "We fail." And these lines are performed in different ways. Yes, I like to think that Lady Macbeth is so confident that she says, we fail. Like there is not even a chance that we can fail. Yes. But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. So if you suck it up and are courageous, yes, if you fix your courage firmly in place, we will not fail. Yes, and here they know Lady Macbeth is the one that comes up with the plan to kill Duncan. And this is again a disruption of order. Why? Because Lady Macbeth is the one that gives the orders to Macbeth. And she says, first we're going to do this, then we're going to do that, and then we're going to do that. Yes, and it's not the other way around. Okay? And Macbeth listens to her. So here we see how the disruption of order works in both ways, okay? So let's continue listening a bit more.
When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber and used their very daggers that they have done?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamour roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
Okay. So what is the plan? This is line 60. When Duncan is asleep, where to the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convinced that memory, the water of the brain, shall be fumed. So as soon as Duncan goes into his chamber, yes, and he will be slept after a long day, yes, his two chamberlains, yes, his two servants that are going to be standing outside his door, I will give to them wine and wassail. Wassail is a drinking, yes, a drink. So convinced that memory, the water of the brain, shall be a fume. So I will get the servants drunk, I will give them different drinks for them to get drunk, so that the memory, the warder of the brain, the memory, the warder, the keeper of the brain, shall be a fume, shall be nothing, and the receipt of reason a limelight only. The receipt, like como un recipiente, the receipt of reason, yes, a limelight. This is a metaphor that is not important, yes, but then if you read the glossary next to this page, you can understand it, but it's not important. What is important is the plan, that they are going to wait for Duncan to be in his chamber. They are going to, she is going to drunk, yes, to get the chamberlains drunk, yes, and after that, when in Swedish sleep, when they are sleeping like pigs, they are drenched, nature lies in as in a death. So when they are so drunk and asleep that they look as if they were dead, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? Yes. So as soon as they are asleep, what is it that we couldn't be able to do to Duncan? Because he's going to be unprotected once we drunk the guards, the chamberlains. Yes. What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great wealth? So not only that, but also we could blame the chamberlains, the servants, the guards that are standing next to the door, and they are going to be drunk. Yes, so we can blame them for the assassination of the king. Yes, Macbeth's reply is, bring forth men, children only, for your undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. So what he's saying, you should only bear male children, because your nature is so courageous. Yes. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber? So now Macbeth takes part in the plan, and he says we should use blood from the king and put it on the guards, so that people think that it was them who did it. Yes, and here we see that Macbeth is finally taking the decision to kill him, and use their very daggers. So the idea is to use the daggers, las espadas, the daggers, o la daga, the daggers from the guards to kill the king. Yes, so it's the perfect plan. And let's go to the last lines that Macbeth says. The conclusion is, I am settled and bent up. So I am decided and I'm ready to do this. Each corporeal agent to this terrible feat. So every part of me, yes, each corporeal agent means every part of me, every part of my body is decided to do this terrible thing. Yes, away and mock the time with fairest show. So let's live and let's deceive the time with a show. So let's try to show an appearance that looks innocent, so that we can deceive time and the world. False face, notice the alliteration of the fa sound, false face must hide what the false heart does know. Yes, and notice the final rhyming couplet, because this is the end of Act 1, Scene 7. And as the globe didn't have any curtains, yes, to indicate the ending of a scene, they would end by using a final rhyming couplet. Away and mock the time with fairest show, false face must hide what the false heart does know. Yes. Okay, so this is the end of Act 1, Scene 7. We have finished the first act of Macbeth. Now we're going to continue analyzing Act 2, Act 1, and the ones that follow. Yes. Almost every character was introduced in this first act. We have these very important events, and in Act 2 is when we have the actual disruption of order. You know, that disruption of the equilibrium. So far, we are in that stage of the story in which there is an equilibrium. We have a king who is ruling a battle that has been won, but in Act 2, we have that specific action that breaks the equilibrium of the story, and we will see what happens. Okay, please write down, take down notes of everything that we have said, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate in sending me a message or when we see each other in our next class. Okay, bye.